Hey Nintendo nerds, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, everybody. It has been a very long time since I've uploaded a video, and quite honestly, I don't have much of an excuse. I have just been going through some difficult issues in my life, and I needed time to work through them. I'm not here to shame on anybody, put the blame on anybody, or talk about anything specific. Obviously, I'm not going to go into too much detail as to what happened, but just to give you a long story short, sometimes you meet people that you think mean everything to you, or you think you can rely on them, or, you think that you'll be with them for the rest of your life. And then you get into sort of like a small fight, and then their true colors show, and then you realize that you were wrong about them, and you just needed to go on a detox, or you need to separate yourself and give yourself some time to focus on who you are and your morals. And that's kind of what I did. And again, I'm not here to say like, oh, it was their fault, or oh, it was my fault, or say anything bad about anybody, because honestly, I still care about the well-being of everybody, and they still mean a lot to me. It's just, I had to look out for myself. If they're not here for my success or the benefit of me, and they're gonna toss me out like old bread as an example, then I have to start doing what feels right for me. So I've been going on a detox, I've been separating myself from a lot of people, and those who I've lost connection with, I've been, rekindling with them, contacting them, spending some time for myself and making time for people that I actually really care about in my life. So it's been really good. For today's video, I really just want to talk about mental health, since I've been going through so much recently that it caused me to rethink about my own mental health state, how I'm really feeling, and things that have been going on in my life. And it made me just really dive deep into the situations and what I had to deal with. This video is in no way sponsored, so I know you guys probably gonna be like, oh, what's this, a sponsored video? She's probably gonna talk about some, therapist or whatever the case is. It's a paid promotion. Or she's here to stuff something down her throats. Absolutely not. I've never, really thought about my own mental health or how I've been feeling. I've always just pushed those feelings aside. So to be able to stop and say to myself, you know what, I think I really need some help, is a huge step. Mental health is so important, and over the last couple of years, a lot of celebrities and online personas have been talking about mental health. Even YouTubers have been talking about mental health. They've been bringing it to awareness because it's just something that gets overlooked so much. Mental health is something that we tend to ignore a lot because we think that it's not as important, when it really is. It can lead to depression, anxiety, and a lot more serious issues. Thank goodness mine were never too serious. I just tend to get a lot of mental insanity, if that makes sense. I get really crazy mentally, and being able to get the help that I needed to sort out my thoughts was really just something that I realized was so much more helpful than I ever would have ever imagined. And just hearing all the celebrities and online personas and YouTubers talk about their own mental health and how much anxiety they had to go through, or depression, or what they've had to experience in their life, it's just so empowering. It's so encouraging, and it takes a lot of courage to come out and talk about your own personal issues. While I was going through my situation, or whatever happened at that time, I was mentally not stable. I felt like I was lonely, I felt like I had nobody, and I felt like I was wronged, or maybe I did something wrong, or maybe it was my fault, when in reality, it was really not anybody's fault. It's just some things are meant to be and others are not. And during that time, because it was taking up so much of my life, while I was at work, I'd be thinking about it, at home, I'd be thinking about it, and mentally, I couldn't get myself back into a stable state. I realized that I need to search for professional help. I need to find somebody that I could talk to and sort out my feelings and sort out my thoughts and kind of just get myself back on track. Because working full-time, it takes a toll on you, and some days are better than others. So that's when I started going on the search, looking for an online therapist. I have never gotten help before. I've never even tried out a therapist before. I barely have time to go see one in person. So of course my first thought was, where can I get some professional help that I will be able to contact 24/7 a day and still be able to get the help that I absolutely needed. Usually my go-to is talking my ear off and driving them crazy, or even my parents, and I realized it's not healthy. I'm not going through a healthy time. I can talk about it all I want, but it's not going to make me feel any better. And that's when I realized that this is a change that I need to make. After much search, I was able to find an online therapist. I'm going to briefly talk about the online service I'm using. I don't want to really go into much detail because I know there's a lot of uncertainty with this company, sort of bad rep for this company over the last, I would say, year or two on YouTube, on the internet, and their morals. But I have personally found that it works for me, and it might not work for everybody. The thing with mental health and getting help is that what I do as a regimen or as a way to help myself might not work for all of you. You might have a way that works for you. Something different might work for you, and that's what's really, difficult about mental health. There isn't one way to fix it or one way to kind of mend what everybody is going through. It's different situations and different solutions that help everybody. For me, maybe this service helps, but for you, maybe you find that you need to go see a therapist in person, or maybe you find it better when you can talk to somebody else, or maybe for you this website doesn't work at all, and I'm not here to stick it down your throat or force you to try it. I'm not affiliated with them. This is something that I discovered on my own that I am finding that is helping me. So the service I'm using is BetterHelp. It is a service online that does online therapy, and you can do face-to-face video calls for half an hour that are scheduled. You get unlimited messaging, so 24/7 I can drive my therapist nuts, and I can kind of text her my worries and explain to her what's going on with my own life. And while it takes a few hours for her to return the messages, it's nice to know that when I need her, I can just send a message and I don't have to wait every week to go see a therapist. And because I work in a hotel, my schedule is absolutely insanely crazy. I could be working at night or I could be working in the morning. So seeing an in-person therapist would never work for me. I would never have time. And on top of that, I'm not really driving, so it would be a complete inconvenience, as well as my parents don't necessarily understand therapy help. They prefer me telling them everything. But in reality, parents cannot possibly understand your thoughts and what you're going through. So I think getting professional help is just an added bonus, and it's super helpful. Of course, it tends to be very pricey, so I'm very, very fortunate, and I'm thankful that BetterHelp offers financial aid and financial services. So if you're someone like me who's a fresh graduate out of college, not making a whole lot of money at work, and you're looking to just get some help and you know that you need it, this place will give you financial aid so you can get the help that you need without it costing a whole lot and or breaking your bank. My therapist, Patty, is really amazing. When I first started speaking with her, right away I could tell that she really was there for my well-being. She cared a lot about my feelings. She would take a moment and kind of like ask me questions to kind of get a feel for what kind of person I was, what kind of issues I was going through. And throughout our therapy sessions, if I don't text her or message her within a few days, she'll definitely follow up and see how I'm doing. She sent over some worksheets to help me deal with some of my, social anxiety, with the little panic attacks I get at work from stress and from doing things wrong, from making mistakes. It's just been very helpful to kind of have somebody that can talk as long as I want to, rant, complain, just let my feelings come out. I feel like at the end of the day, I'm just glad I have somebody to kind of tell those feelings to. It has been very helpful for me because it's been very hard for me. When I felt very alone during my time during that situation I was going through, I didn't even know what to do. I mentally was going insane. I had invested so much time into the friendship and into everything that I felt like, I had just lost it all in just a short amount of time. Again, I'm not going to go into much detail as to what happened. I'm just going to touch base on it lightly to kind of explain to you why I did what I had to do. And in the last few weeks, I have felt so much better. I felt a lot more happier, that I can finally go back to being my normal self. Having help from her has really just gotten my thoughts together. I'm able to gather them. I'm able to kind of just understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, and finally come to terms with myself that life isn't perfect. I'm absolutely not perfect, and that's just the way things are going to be. I can't force things that are not meant to be. Fate decides what happens to us in life. Not us, not people. it's fate. It's, you know, whoever created this world that you believe so. So I've just been going through that the last 2 months and getting as much help as I could. I've also been taking time for myself and kind of just giving a lot of positivity in my life. I've been doing a lot of self-help, if that makes sense. Reading books that help me kind of understand that it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay when things go wrong. I've also been doing a lot of different journals, which I'm going to actually go grab and show you now because they've been really helpful, and I want to help you guys as well if you're feeling the same way as me, ways that you can kind of spend time for yourself and unwind after a long day. So, ta-da! I've been working on these 2 journals simultaneously just about every day or when I really need them. So the first one is Present Not Perfect, a journal for slowing down, letting go, and loving who you are. I may or may not have already showed this to you guys on my channel, but I want to just reiterate this book again because I love it so much. It's a creative cure for perfectionism, and I am most definitely a perfectionist at work, or a perfectionist at work. I like things to be done a certain way. I tend to stick to the rules and I do what I'm supposed to do. So this is helping me out quite a bit. Throughout the book, you will see that one page will have a prompt. This isn't a good example. Let me show you one that actually has an actual prompt to it. So one page will have a prompt, while the other page will have a really encouraging quote. This one says, "Live boldly." And what I've been doing with this journal is, if I'm having a really stressful day that week, I'm not doing it every day. I'm doing it when I feel the most stressed at work, or if I've had a long day. This is when I probably will open up the book and do an entry or 2, sometimes more, depending on how I'm feeling. As you can see through the early pages of the book, I have been dating all of my entries. So I'll put a date up in the very corner, and then this is the prompt or the entry, and I write it. So at the end of the year or throughout the year, I can go back and reference it and know when I did each entry and what day it was being done, which is really nice. I love the quotes. It's really been helping me kind of get that positivity back in my life. Like, for example, one of my favorite ones is, "Be your own kind of beautiful." Another one that I like is, "Be kind to yourself." Or this one, "You were born to be real, not perfect." This book, I believe, was $14.99 online on Amazon. I think it was maybe like $10 on Amazon with Prime and everything. Do not quote me. I will leave the link in the description box for both of these items so you guys can take a look at them and see the pricing on Amazon with Prime and how much they cost for me. And then the second book that I have here is the Good Day Start with Gratitude Journal. I 100% have been using this journal quite a lot. This helps you slow down at the end of your day or even in the morning and kind of like write down things that you're super grateful for. I do the same that I do in this journal as well. I date all of my entries so I know exactly when I'm doing it. The really nice part about this book is they actually give you a spot to write the date. So really it's already getting me into that routine of writing the date every time I do a new entry in this journal. I've only gotten onto the first page because I haven't really had time to sit down and write everything or write every day what I'm grateful for, but I do have a few of them. Like, for example, my most recent one was, I am most thankful for a group page I'm a part of on Facebook, my therapist, and music. Some days it's been, you know, work and family and friends. So it really varies on a daily basis, but it's so nice to sit down and be able to write down what I'm grateful for and remind myself that I am living such a great life and I should be grateful for everything that I have. And while even though I go through difficult times, I cannot let them get the best of me because I'm human. And I have to be human, and humans are not perfect. I can't expect myself to be perfect at everything, even though I want to be. You know, a lot of the times I spend my life comparing myself to the next person. You know, oh, they're they're further along than me. Oh, they're getting more shout outs than me. Oh, they're getting better reviews than me. And it gets to the point where it's hurting me. That I feel like I'm not good enough, or I'll never be good enough. And it's been very difficult for me to understand that I just have to accept it. Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, you know, I wish I can be just as good as they are, and I realize that I'm only bringing myself down, and it is just so disheartening to hear myself say that, to go through it, It has not been the easiest for the last 2 months, so being able to get back on track has been really great for me. Of course, if you guys are thinking about getting online help, there are a lot of great online services you can just look up and find. Of course, they do not substitute face-to-face therapy. If you prefer that, I most definitely would recommend you to continue to do what works for you. This is what works for me, and I really want to bring up mental health and just say that take care of yourself and know that your mental state comes first. Stop putting others before you. You know, in life, you're going to be questioned a lot and having to make a lot of difficult decisions. Are they easy? Absolutely not. And you cannot expect yourself to every time be able to go on a limb for somebody else. You have to stop and say, no, I have to do what's healthy for me. I have to do what makes me happy, not what makes them happy. At the end of the day, they could be going through the worst time ever, but your health comes first. And I know for me, I tend to put everybody before myself. So getting help was by far the best decision I've ever made. And you're feeling down, get help. Talk to somebody. It is better than holding everything inside. I am more than happy to read your comments, go through, and be a listening ear. So that's all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed me talking about mental health. I know I don't usually do this, but in the last few years, I've really seen how important it is and how it's been coming into the light. And everyone's talking about their mental health issues. So I want to take a moment and explain to you guys mine and what I have been missing for the last few months. I definitely do plan on returning. It's just taken a little bit longer than I had intended. I had a lot going on and so much that I didn't even know when I'd be able to come back, whether I wanted to. It's been a really difficult time for me, but I will say that life is starting to look up. I'm getting the help that I need, and it's just nice to sit down and talk to you guys and get to know you all as well through my viewers. And of course, I'm always here if you need a listening ear, so feel free to leave your comments down below and know that there's always somebody here for you. I love you guys so much. Much love. Lots of kisses. Besitos para todos. That's what I was gonna say. And I will see you guys next time on my channel. I love you guys as always. Stay cool, Nintendo nerds. Bye!